Hey, what's happening? I hope you guys are having a great day. So today's video is all about marketing versus selling for real estate agents. I remember back in the day when I first got into real estate, I got my real estate license and I was super excited and I had these visions of being multi-millionaire and drinking pina coladas on the beach. I thought money was just gonna come flowing down until, of course, the hard reality hits. And I realized, man, this game is so much tougher than people let on. So how does this tie in with marketing versus selling? See, I never understood the concept of how to grow a business and how to make more money, how to help more buyers and sellers, and bring in more commission checks until I started researching marketing versus selling. And I started my research back in 2010. If you follow my videos at all or know anything about me, you knew that I completely lost everything. Like the old school mentality of selling in real estate is what made me broke essentially. I nearly went bankrupt. And then I started doing marketing, started doing research on marketing and who the best marketers were out there. And of course I came across Gary Vaynerchuk and I started really paying attention to what he was doing, and he was marketing. So I thought, okay, well, what if I stop selling and start marketing? And I literally had to make one change in my business that really started the snowball. And of course, the snowball starts off small and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and eventually started growing my business. And I started actually building a team as of that point. So I literally went from flat broke because all I was doing was selling to now bringing in money because I converted that to marketing. And I think this is the biggest challenge most real estate agents have, is they have this salesperson hat on. And so the first thing you have to do as a real estate agent, you have to convert what's in here, the 6 inches between your head, or since I've got this like big head, mine's probably 7 inches, I don't know. First thing you have to do is, of course, put on your digital mayor hat. So take off the old sales hat and now put on your digital mayor hat. So let's take a look at the iPad here. Marketing on the left and selling on the right. So to me, if I were to say what's the biggest difference, I would say marketing is one-to-many communication, and selling is one-to-one. As in, you're sitting in front of a person, you're selling them one-to-one. So you can already see that marketing, you're speaking to many people at the same time, and selling is you're speaking to one person at a time. So what else is marketing? Marketing is building your brand, your personal brand. What else is marketing? Helping people. And when I say helping people, I'm talking about value. You know, we all hear value. You have to provide people value. If they're thinking about buying or selling, give them free information that they actually need. The one thing that I've noticed in this industry, real estate agents tend to keep the information to themselves, specifically when it comes to helping buyers or sellers. So for example, like a listing presentation, they're gonna say, well, I'm gonna show you how to sell homes once I'm in front of you face to face. So if you put on your digital mayor hat on and you're thinking from the viewpoint of marketing, wouldn't it make sense to publicly display, hey, here's how I can help you sell homes because it's not a secret? That's marketing, because now you're going out there and providing value and information. Value could also be market reports, market updates, things like that. Things that a buyer or seller would need in the moment that they need it at. So that's how I tend to think of marketing. So Gary Vaynerchuk, for example, so he would have Wine Library TV because his parents started off a liquor store. And so he wanted to grow that brand. So every single day he plopped a camera in front of him. He took 3 or 4 bottles. He would test the wine. He'd spit it out into his New York Jets helmet bucket, and he would talk about the wine. And that's great value, because if you're a wine drinker, you would tune into his show every day and you would watch him talk about different wines. I think that's kind of brilliant. He didn't sell anything. He just gave information. So that's marketing. Let's move on to the selling column. So like I said, one-to-one. So some of the big things that I heard coming from my managers and things like that when I got into real estate is cold calling, along with door knocking. So if you look at that, that would be traditional selling. It's one-to-one, and cold calling is not really marketing, because you're not really building that relationship, if you will, because you're at a disadvantage right away, because you called somebody and they don't like you right away. You're immediately at a disadvantage. Same with door knocking. You can't really consider that marketing. Some people try to push into that gray area of marketing. Well, yeah, you just leave them with great information and then you move on. Yes, you could do that, but that's really time consuming as well. Marketing really shouldn't be time consuming, because now you're speaking one to many. I'm recording this video, but it's not like I'm leaving it on my phone, walking up to one of you, or let's say to you, and say, hey, can you look at this video? Great, you're done watching. Okay, let's move on to the next person and show them a video. That's not how it works. That's not how the interwebs works. That's not how social media, that's not how Facebook works. You create one piece of content and it goes out to as many people as humanly possible, or whoever's got an internet connection, essentially. So selling, so that's how, now this is, I'm just talking basic terms. We can really do a deep dive, but I don't want this video to be a half-hour long. So marketing versus selling. Let's look at this in terms of a funnel, because it doesn't matter what business you're in, you have to create a funnel for your business. If you're a marketer, you know what a funnel is, digital marketer. I'll teach you what a funnel is if you don't know. So a funnel is exactly the way it sounds. This is a funnel. You put things in the top, and then eventually money will come out the bottom. So then marketing, if we draw a line across here, marketing would be up here, where selling would be down here. Because people, when you develop a relationship with somebody, that would be almost marketing, the marketing category. When you propose and say, will you marry me? That's the selling. Does that make sense? So you transition from marketing to selling. So let's see. Let's look at marketing first. I like to use the term digital mayor. So digital mayor, okay? As a digital mayor of your town, what you're doing is marketing. And marketing, I'm gonna divide this up into 4 different categories. So let's look at the top one here. So the top of the funnel is free content. If you meet somebody for the first time, wherever it is, we all talk about meeting somebody at the bar. So let's stick with that. So you meet somebody at a bar, what do? You don't go for the sale, do you? I mean, some people do, and they get lucky every now and then. But typically, you start off with casual conversation, and it's free conversation. That's the way I like to put it. You get to know the person. How are you? What's your name? What do you do? Blah, blah, blah. You get to know them as a person. You want to know everything about them. Where do you live? What kind of job do you have? What's your family life? What do you do for fun? You see what I'm talking about? So when you put that into digital mayor concept, you're creating free content, letting the people in your town get to know you, like you, and trust you. Know you, like you, and trust you. The KLT factor. Know you, like you, and trust you. We've all heard of that. So you're putting stuff into the top of the funnel as a digital mayor. That's marketing, because now you're developing your brand. You're sharing with your local city who you are and what you're about. But if you only create content where you only talk about real estate and you don't share anything personal about yourself, that's kind of like walking up to somebody in a bar and asking them, so what do you do for a living? And they're like, hey, I'm a real estate agent. And then you say, so what do you do for fun? And they go, I'm a real estate agent. And you go, oh, interesting. What kind of books do you read? I'm a real estate agent. See what I mean? So if you're creating content only about real estate, that's like only saying I'm a real estate agent, and you don't get to answer the questions about you. What do you do for fun? So as you can see, I'm developing these videos, but it's not just strictly content, or it's not strictly real estate driven in terms of how to grow your real estate business. I'm kind of sharing everything about myself, because I know when I stalk people on YouTube or their social media profiles, I really want to get to know them. So I'm just putting it all out there, but I'm also creating value for you as the agent so you can learn how to grow your business. And I also throw in personal stuff. Does that make sense? So free content is designed to get them to know you, like you, and trust you. So that could be videos, it could be blog posts, it could be podcasts, whatever is easy for you. I like to talk. I'm not a writer. Actually, I'm not really a talker, but I prefer to communicate on video rather than the written word or a podcast. That's just the easiest for me. I've been obsessed with video cameras since I was a little kid. I don't know where that came from, but that's just me. So create content however you want to create content. The second level down is list building. So this is 1, this is 2. So what is list building? Well, that's taking the relationship to the next level. List building is now exchange of information. So now when people watch your content as a real estate agent, and they perhaps may be thinking about moving, whether it's now or later on, you give them something of value where now you're exchanging information. That's called a lead magnet. So you're moving them down along your lead funnel. So a lead magnet could be something they can download, something you can email them. So for example, you can give them the 7 biggest ROI low-cost projects you can do to elevate the value of your home. That's kind of long-winded. I just came up with it off the top of my head. But, you know, top 7 ROI projects. And give me your email, and I will email that to you right away. So if somebody's thinking about perhaps buying or selling now or in the future, that may be of interest to them because they want to know the 7 things they can do in their home that will create the biggest value. Does that make sense? So now they're giving you their email address and you're giving them value. That's called a lead magnet. So now you're building a deeper relationship with these people, because now you can literally reach out and communicate with them through email. No longer do you have to rely on your content, whether it's on YouTube or Facebook or Snapchat or Instagram, to reach them. Does that make sense? So you're putting out your first impression. If they like you, they will take that relationship down the funnel with you and now provide you with their email. Or they'll continue to stalk you until they provide you with the email. List building is the most important thing you could do, because an email list is a list of relationships. Don't look at it as commission checks. These are actual relationships that now you're going in deeper with them. The longer you have your list, the more money you will make. Does that make sense? Think about that, because when somebody gives you their email address in the beginning, does that mean they're going to do business with you? Absolutely not. But now you have a way of communicating with them that down the road, chances are they will come and use you as a real estate agent. Positioning. So that is the third step of the funnel. And positioning works the best when people are actually ready to make the decision to buy or sell. Because now they're going to look to you as the expert, and now you have to position yourself as the expert. You have to have what I call a signature solution to how you're going to help a buyer or a seller that's different than everybody else. Don't be the what I call me too agent. Yeah, me too, meaning an agent goes out there and says, hey, guess what? I can sell your home for like under 30 days and I can do a really good job. Somebody else says, yeah, me too, I can do that. So if your signature solution is just like everybody else's, you're never going to stand out. But that's the way this business works for the most part is agents look at each other and they go, oh, that agent's doing something really cool, so I'm going to do that too. Before you know it, everybody's doing it, and you don't really distinguish yourself. So you need to have a signature solution. The best way that I found to have a signature solution or to position yourself is to have an actual book. Because now you position yourself as an expert because you're an author. And we tend to look to those people at a higher level because, wow, now you're an author. If you're an author, you must really know what you're doing. Because every city has hundreds, probably even thousands of agents. So what makes you different? We can go a lot deeper into that, but that's just kind of a generic overview of positioning. So now when you're emailing these people and you've got in your email, hey, by the way, if you're looking to buy, or I hate that term, hey, by the way. I don't even know why I used it. Forget I even said that. So in your email signature, P.S., if you're ready to sell your home, order my free book. There. So now when they get your book, you've literally positioned yourself as the expert. And by the time they're done consuming your positioning content, you should be the obvious choice because you're not screaming me too, and you have a signature solution that speaks directly to the problems. Number 4, selling. Hey, we finally get to selling. Selling is nothing more than somebody just agreeing to work with you. I don't look at selling as handling objections or some sleazy, slimy techniques. I hate that. And I don't ever encourage anybody to use selling techniques because if you position yourself correctly, selling is nothing more than perhaps having a face-to-face conversation to seal the deal. That's it. That's literally selling. But if you look at this entire concept, you can see that selling is the very last step of the entire process. It's like the last 3%. Where 97% is marketing and 3% is selling. That's a lot of scribbles. So in conclusion, so marketing and selling both exist in being a real estate agent. But if you take off your real estate agent hat and put on your digital mayor hat, majority of what you do is positioning yourself with the content you're producing. So if you don't have content, you have no choice but to sell. You have no choice but to pick up the phone. You have no choice but to door knock because you don't have marketing to give you the leverage of bringing in those relationships. Does that make sense? And when I say selling, there's nothing sleazy about that. I don't mean it in the traditional way of selling, meaning sleazy tactics or objection handling techniques that nobody likes to use. It's nothing more than somebody agreeing to meet with you to say, I like you. I like what you've got. I want you to represent me as a real estate agent. So I hope that makes sense. I'll see you tomorrow. Have an awesome day.